Coming up next on Making Moves, transportation experts from around the world descend on Jacksonville. We'll tell you what they thought about our transit plans for the future. There's a new player in contention for the vehicle of choice for JTA's ultimate urban circulator program. See what autonomous vehicle the authority is checking out now and why where it's made presents a problem.
Right now, there are no U.S. manufacturers of purpose-built shuttles. And so we've gone to where the best technology exists, and right now that's Germany.
We'll tell you why hundreds of people came out to learn what's coming to Jacksonville's Riverfront.
There's a lot of people here that are interested in the future of Jacksonville, and that lights me up.
And we'll show you 3,000 ways JTA helps prove science and technology is really cool.
It just helps to strengthen the functional linkage between the community and our public school education system, which only makes things stronger and makes our kids' outcomes and achievement much better in the classroom and beyond.
These stories and more are all coming up right now on Making Moves.
Welcome to Making Moves. I'm Bill Milnes. Glad to have you join us today. We begin in downtown Jacksonville, where 150 members of the International Association of Public Transport, or UITP, descended on our city. Based in Belgium, UITP has over 1,900 members in 100 countries. Let's bring in Making Moves senior correspondent Eugene Lindsay now. Eugene, this was the first time ever that UITP held its North American Forum here in Jacksonville. Can you give our viewers an idea of what were some of the hot topics during the forum itself?
Bill, during this North America Transit Forum, the JTA played host to transportation experts from far and wide to talk about the many changes that's happening in this rapidly changing industry and how to help best get commuters from point A to point B. Hundreds of transportation experts and leaders from around the globe converged here in this Marriott Hotel conference room in downtown Jacksonville, Florida, for a meeting of the minds of what's happening in the transit world. These mass transportation professionals bring a plethora of experience and insight, representing places like Spain, Australia, Brussels, the Netherlands, and of course, the USA. The objective of this North America Transit Forum is to bring together mass transportation leaders from around the world to discuss a wide range of challenges within the industry and to learn from one another on ways to explore and implement the latest advancements in mass transportation. So for 2 days, they packed this room and put commuting and mass transit under the microscope to unpack a busload of concerns. Federal Deputy Transit Administrator Veronica Vanderpool also attended the forum and says it's meetings like this that will help keep mass transportation moving in the right direction.
It's always important when we're able to convene together as an industry, but even more important when we can do so with our international partners. We have wonderful examples of transit innovation and transit growth and progress in the United States, and we've seen wonderful examples overseas. So the opportunity that's presented over the next 2 days is for us to gather and discuss the challenges and the opportunities. In fact, there are many unique challenges in the U.S. and there's many similar challenges with our partners across in other countries. And that's the value of this.
And topics for discussion were wide and varied, covering everything from transportation in urban areas and reimagining ways to move people to the impact of mass transit in underserved communities.
So I thought that the panelists did a phenomenal job talking about ways that they are re-optimizing or optimizing their services. And then the discussion around technology, whether it was, Laura called it connective tissue, and I referenced the fact that mobility as a service is also a discussion around how you can take a look at all the various mobility options that exist, whether it's a microtransit, that scooter, whether it's a bicycle. But how do you ensure that all of those options are put together in a network, a mobility marketplace, so that at the end of the day, the rider has an understanding of what his or her choices are?
And while public transit can offer a variety of vehicle options for commuters to get to where they're going, cutting-edge technology definitely is the focus of the future in mass transit. One clear objective is to get more eco-friendly and energy-efficient vehicles in their fleets.
Transition to zero emissions is not the easiest. We have an energy crisis going on. We also have a lack of manpower. Many cities might still not have perhaps the political support or the policy framework that can favor and support this kind of technologies. So I think for public transport operators and transport authorities is the right time to come together, to join forces and exchange and learn from each other.
And learning from each other is the core focus of this North America Transit Forum, sharing new developments, concepts, and ideas, which these folks all agree will make a world of difference in the future of mass transportation.
I think it's very important to have those kind of meetings because it brings all the experts all around the world to one place and share the knowledge. In North America, we have this tendency of looking at what we do, but in North America. So sharing the knowledge coming from elsewhere, it can be very beneficial for everybody.
Very important because it's not something that is easy. You need each other's help to take this step.
In Jacksonville, Eugene Lindsay, JTA, making moves.
On the forum's opening day, JTA hosted dozens of UITP members at its Armsdale Road Testing Center, where the JTA's Automation and Innovation team does much of its vehicle testing for the Ultimate Urban Circulator project. The group, part of a contingent of 150 transportation experts from across the U.S. and around the globe, learned about JTA's autonomous plans during a technical tour that included rides on autonomous shuttles, a question and answer session, and a look at a brand new German-made autonomous shuttle prototype. This ZF shuttle, as well as the Holon shuttle from German manufacturer Benteler, are considered potential vehicles for the Bay Street Innovation Corridor project. We'll have more on the benefits and challenges of bringing these German-made autonomous shuttles to Jacksonville permanently and how JTA is working with federal officials to resolve the issue coming up in a few minutes. Now let's go to 5th Street West on Jacksonville's northwest side. You may recall on our last show, we took you to the ribbon cutting for a small road improvement project on 5th Street. 2 years ago, when the project began, the project area, about 3 blocks long, was in terrible shape. Drainage runoff was a ditch which filled quickly and flooded the front yards of many of the homes there. The road was small and had no sidewalk, so residents were forced to dodge traffic while walking on the road. But a $4.5 million JTA Mobility Works project changed all of that. Now, a little over a month later, we wanted to find out how the new and improved conditions there have changed things for these residents. So we sent Making Moves producer Carlos Bouvier back to the site to find out.
I've been here now about 33 years. We have a big change now on West 5th Street. When we first moved here, the street had nothing but ditches. Now, since they expand the street, everything is beautiful. Everybody is satisfied. They don't have to worry about their children going back and forth to school.
When the ditch was there and the roads were more narrow, you see a lot of kids walking in the streets to go to school or to the store and everything. And now, since the sidewalks are up, they've been able to use that and not just walk in the streets, so it's more safer for everybody, kids.
I think they did a great job. You know, it was in bad condition when it rained, it flooded, and I think now it looks more safer, better for transportation and for people, and you know, it looks great.
The street is brand new. It looks amazing. We have 2 sidewalks now. It's great for traffic, great for us parking. The smell is gone. That's great, because they redid our sewers.
2 years ago, I remember when they started out here, driving the stakes, and I've seen the project all the way through, and the only thing I can say, fantastic, fantastic.
We met some of the guys that was out here working, you know, as the day go by, and hey, they were doing a good job.
The workers and everybody were very respectful of everybody's time and, you know, being able to get in and out with this construction and everything. So I think it went well.
They worked through the whole pandemic. They worked through it. Them boys, they were out here, they worked through it, they had their masks on, they worked through it. I have to give them 2 thumbs up. They did a great job, they did. They worked very hard on it. JTA did come out and redid all of our street lights. So at night, it's lit up. We could see the road, we could see our houses, you could see the people, it's perfect. They did a great job.
Everybody's happy and they're satisfied with what's been done. That's the main thing, improvement.
They can just jump in the middle lane and let traffic flow and then be able to back into their driveway like me, I back in. So I get in the middle lane, wait for traffic, then back into my, it's easy. It's way better. It's way better, it's way better.
Don't have to worry about getting hit by a car or anything. I feel free going to the store and coming back. Seeing everybody and the company that comes, everybody just talks about how beautiful it is. The kids are very happy on the streets now. We've never seen so many children pass by this street since they fixed it.
It's done, you know, for the community. I think everybody should feel good when they do something good for the community.
If you're one of those people who think there's nothing to do in downtown Jacksonville and that nobody lives there or wants to, well, then you would have likely been shocked by the recent Riverfront 2025 A Look Ahead event at the main library. Hundreds of people turned out to learn about the more than 100 projects that are in the works, specifically on the north and south banks and in the downtown core, and that includes JTA's Bay Street Innovation Corridor.
The Bay Street Innovation Corridor is going down Bay Street, which is the main part of the downtown. It is going to interconnect businesses in the downtown and residents in their downtown in a safe and effective way.
It was amazing to see the turnout. There's a lot of people here that are interested in the future of Jacksonville, and that lights me up. Because we have so much potential and so many beautiful things to share with people. When you think about Jacksonville, we have this opportunity to become one of the showcase cities in the Southeast.
For us, as like a city, downtown being developed is really, really critical as we move forward because our downtown is the heartbeat of the city. And without a strong heart, we don't really have anything else going, you know? And so tonight, being able to, in live forum, communicate as much information as we can, being as transparent as we can about all the different projects, where they are, where the funding is coming from, who's behind them, when they're going to be completed, and then really getting information and feedback from the community as a whole on what they want to see.
Still to come on this episode of Making Moves. We'll tell you when the St. John's River Ferry will resume operations and what JTA is doing while the boat is in dry dock. Then later, JTA sponsored a science expo and 3,000 kids showed up. We'll show you why they came and show you some of the big attractions.
It feels like Disney here right now because there are so many people.
Those stories when we come back.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Roll over.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
You're watching Making Moves, honored by the American Public Transportation Association with its 2022 First Place Ad Wheel Award for Excellence in Electronic Media.
Welcome back. We have an update now on the closure of the St. John's River Ferry. JTA announced that the ferry's service will be suspended until May 2nd, due mainly to supply chain issues for the vessel parts. The Coast Guard mandated ferry haul-out occurs every 2 to 3 years to ensure that the vessel remains in good state of repair. While the ferry undergoes its current maintenance, JTA begins the $3 million Phase 5 improvement project to the overall ferry systems, including extending the bulkhead walls, new catwalk access, and mooring bollards. The improvements also include new dynamic information signage, and the bridge gantry will undergo preservation and rehabilitation. CEO Nat Ford said purchasing a second ferry and making upgrades to the current one are at the top of the list of JTA's Move 2027 regional work strategy to improve waterborne transportation in Northeast Florida. Ford added these improvements to the ferry and its facilities are critical as JTA addresses how we improve the regional waterborne network and expand water-based services as a viable option for commuters. Since taking over ferry operations in the spring of 2016, JTA has pumped in over $23 million in upgrades and improvements to the popular ferry service. As we showed you earlier in the show, JTA unveiled a new German prototype autonomous shuttle as a possible foundation for its Bay Street project during the opening of the UITP North American Transportation Forum. The Bay Street project began 4 years ago last month when JTA was awarded a $12.5 million federal build grant by then U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao. Since then, JTA has added 2 new test tracks and tested 8 vehicles operating on 5 different platforms in search of the one that best fits our city's needs. The latest vehicle, a new prototype from Germany, was delivered to JTA in mid-January for review and consideration. With design of the Bay Street Innovation Corridor, Phase 1 of JTA's Ultimate Urban Circulator program nearing completion, and construction to start shortly thereafter, a decision on what autonomous vehicle will be the foundation of the program is looming. But there is one glaring challenge now facing JTA and other transit agencies seeking federal dollars to help fund their autonomous vehicle projects.
Right now, there are no U.S. manufacturers of purpose-built shuttles. And so we've gone to where the best technology exists, and right now that's Germany.
That's a real problem since there is a federal mandate to buy American.
We can't buy America if that entity does not exist right now.
2 of the latest contenders come from Germany. ZF, a 107-year-old German car parts manufacturer, and 147-year-old Benteler International's Holon project. Both German companies unveiled new autonomous vehicles last month at CES in Las Vegas, the world's largest consumer electronics show. JTA then convinced ZF to ship its prototype to Jacksonville so its team could get an up-close and personal look. Now it's in Jacksonville at JTA's Armsdale Road Test and Learn Center, where JTA automation officials are examining the 18-passenger vehicle to determine its potential as a shuttle for the authority's U2C program. But the ZF is not the only German autonomous vehicle that JTA is showing interest. The Benteler Holon was also unveiled at CES. The Holon was designed by legendary Italian car design firm Pininfarina, who brought the world such motor cars as Ferrari, Fiat, Peugeot, and Maserati.
We are here in Las Vegas at the CES at the world premiere of Holon. This is quite an important milestone for Holon and the Holon team, but as well for Benteler, as our vision is to make future mobility safer, lighter, and more sustainable.
If there is a manufacturer that's doing it better than we are, why not partner with them, bring them to America, give them time to ramp up, and then we have American company, we have American jobs, and then when you're talking about technology, you're also talking about higher paying salaries.
JTA, who's tested 8 different autonomous vehicle platforms to date, will have hurdles to jump if it wants to make one of these 2 vehicles the foundation of its Bay Street Innovation Corridor project. The Federal Transit Administration requires public transit vehicles to be American-made. That leaves JTA and others pursuing this technology with a problem. Local Motors, the only American-made autonomous vehicle shuttle manufacturer, closed its doors last year. Now JTA is working with federal transportation officials to consider a Buy American waiver until ZF and Benteler Holon have manufacturing plants in the U.S. Both are considering building plants here.
We are happy
to head for and start of production in 2025 here in the US. Be, I would say, a next milestone in autonomous driving here in the US market.
U2C project manager Angie Williams says it would be prudent to start thinking differently about the Buy American concept.
If they set up shop here, if they get their local supplies from here, that's really building America versus just buying a certain part.
Williams says, based on the recent Florida Automated Vehicle Summit hosted by the JTA, the Sunshine State is out front in the autonomous shuttle industry. And that could prove to be vital when it comes to pushing the technology forward and getting favorable regulatory assistance.
Florida is embracing autonomous technology. Florida understands what is in the game for us to be in the forefront of this technology. And so I think JTA does have the clout because we are on the ground floor, we're educating, we're trying to move the needle to actually bring great manufacturing jobs. Let's partner, let's build America by bringing the jobs here, the companies here, working with Florida to stay at the beginning in the front of the technology. We understand that autonomous vehicles are here. We need to embrace it. We need to put in the infrastructure. We have tested about 8 vehicle platforms here at the Test and Learn Center. And when you look at purpose-built shuttles, this is a purpose-built shuttle, we can design that vehicle to meet the needs of the neighborhood and for it to be agile. Now, the difference between this vehicle and some of the others we have, one is just the size. It is a lot larger than the other vehicles that we have in the Test and Learn Center. So the seating capacity is a lot larger.
The JTA Board of Directors has elected new officers after 2 years as its chair. Ari Jolly passed the gavel to longtime Jacksonville banker Debbie Buckland. Attorney Ray Driver was named new vice chair. Abel Harding was chosen as secretary, and Andre Wallace is the new board treasurer. Jolly, Stephanie Birch, and FDOT District 2 Secretary Greg Evans round out the 7-member board.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
You're watching Making Moves, the most honored transportation news and information program of its kind in the country.
Welcome back to Making Moves. JTA's history of interacting with local students, particularly those in the science, technology, engineering, and math areas, has been well documented on this show. So it seemed fitting that the Authority was the title sponsor for the STEM Expo 2023 at the River City Science Academy in Bay Meadows recently. Over 3,000 students attended the 10th annual event to see JTA's AV Roadshow and dozens of other exciting activities. Making Moves' Carlos Bouvier has all the highlights.
It was the perfect opportunity to take a ride into the future, literally.
Upwards, downwards, and open to crawl. It feels like Disney here right now because there are so many people and so many resources.
Whether it was through one of JTA's autonomous vehicles or through a myriad of hands-on displays and experiences. The 10th annual STEM and Health Expo at River City Science Academy proved to be the perfect way to connect students and families to endless possibilities that exist through STEM.
A lot of the times when students are in school and they're doing science or math, they just see a textbook. But what we are able to do is bring the textbook and the science and math to life.
This has batteries just like a Tesla.
As the title sponsor of the event, JTA went beyond the books and brought families a real-life application, a demonstration of the Ultimate Urban Circulator, or U2C program, which introduces autonomous vehicles into JTA's transportation system and into the city.
Sometimes when you're doing science and math, You really don't see the connection, but this is a way for JTA and the U2C program to connect the dots for students and actually see science, technology, and math in action.
It's an autonomous vehicle. This is the Ollie 2.0 made by Local Motors. It is actually a 3D printed vehicle.
For those who work in education, they say making those connections is really important. Duval County School Board Chair Dr. Kelly Coker says that unless students are really seeing and experiencing STEM for themselves, they may never explore certain fields and never realize they can contribute to the local workforce.
This is a building block to making sure that children want to go into this industry in the long run. It's important to have events around STEM and health and activities that allow children to engage in these areas so that they grow a real interest and an excitement about learning more about STEM and healthcare fields.
It's definitely so important just to really engage students in STEM. There's so many different career options not a lot of kids know about, and futures in STEM are ultimately careers of the future.
Organizers behind the event say in its 10th year, this expo and a local interest in STEM only continue to grow.
I am definitely very proud. This has been an extremely successful event, and we honestly couldn't have done it without JTA as our title sponsor. So we thank you guys again. This is a great turnout and definitely the best STEM Expo yet for our 10th annual.
Its growth leaders say isn't possible without partners who are not only investing in STEM, but also investing in our students.
I will tell you, as the chair of the board, I don't think we've ever seen a time where JTA has been a better partner than now. It's exciting about the partnerships that are being offered.
In the end, leaders say the goal is to go beyond one day and one event, but to create a pipeline of curious and inspired students who can continue to expand STEM into the community.
By showing them that through the study of engineers and scientists, we can bring technology like autonomous vehicles to action. And there is actually a component of workforce development in that they can see that they're cool devices and want to know about the professions that create these things.
From the South Bank, Vicki Gutierrez, JTA, making moves.
Before we go, we have this from the 2023 Black Expo. One of JTA's own, Director of Transit Planning, Tara Crawford, was named one of Jacksonville's top 20 under 40 by the Black Expo organization. Crawford leads the design and preparation of the fixed route bus system, rider projections, and monitors key transit performance indicators and standards. She says her passion is to promote mobility and accessibility for all and strive for community engagement in the transportation process. So we congratulate Tara Crawford on this well-deserved honor. And that wraps up this edition of Making Moves. We thank you for joining us and hope you'll tune again soon as we continue to bring you the latest in transportation news, economic development, and all things JTA. If you want to watch any of our shows again or catch up on ones you may have missed, we welcome you to check out our YouTube channel. A direct link to our YouTube page is available at jtafla.com. Just click on the icon at the bottom of the page. I'm Bill Milnes for everyone here at Making Moves. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.